This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I am delighted to be joined by Dean Sutherland over Zoom. Dean, how are you doing?
I'm very good, mate. Yourself?
I'm all good. It's good to hear you are doing well, and I imagine you're doing actually very well because it's fight week for you. I imagine you've waited a long, long time for nearly 20 months or so now since you last
Yeah.
fought.
Oh, mate, I'm absolutely buzzing. See, just to hear that fight week and to have, especially the fight's so close now. As someone been absolutely buzzing to get in for. I've been training so hard during this whole period of time, and to finally get the date and everything confirmed and in touching distance now, I'm ecstatic for it.
What has the pandemic been like for you, Dean? Working through it, how have you found trying to stay motivated, keep yourself going throughout?
Uh, well, where I was actually supposed to fight the weekend after we went into lockdown. So I was in full fight prep. I was ready, just taking over, taking off the last bits of weight, and then obviously the world went to shot a wee bit. And it went from being fully trained up for my fight to not being able to do my job, not being able to train, being in the flat for 15, 16 hours a day when I'm normally out of it. So it'd be a massive culture shock. And to start off with, I thought I was going to just do it, take this time to train as a full-time professional. Was doing 2-3 training sessions a day. I was banging them out, was in great condition for a good month and a half, 2 months, and then started to hit the wall, started to hit the dip of motivation. It went down to 1 or 2 sessions a day, then it was 1 session a day, then it was a couple a week, and it went to the point I'd be lucky if I was doing any training for a week. I just went on a dark spell. But then after speaking closer with my team and making a few arrangements with changing my training camp, changing my nutritionist, just working on a few things, got everything really right back on track. And then I've been training really hard for the last probably say 10 months, just looking for opportunities coming up.
Dean, when shows first returned last year, it was around July time, I believe the first show was. I might have been end of June. Did you have any opportunities presented to you to try and get out?
I did actually have a few offers for the matchroom shows. I actually had a couple of offers for fighters from there, but I think the longest notice I got for one of the fights was like 12 days. That was the longest notice that I got given. I actually had a few good names, but the shortest one that I actually had was for Florian Marku on the AJ card. I got a phone call at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday evening asking, could I be down to Wembley for 12 o'clock in the afternoon? I was like, that's not even 24 hours notice. But it was good to get little opportunities like that because my name was then getting mentioned and that sort of people. So that was good to keep giving me the motivation to keep going for it. But I'm only 22 years old. I didn't need to jump at an opportunity that didn't suit me, and working with a brand new team and stuff like that together. I needed a good bit of time to break in, get used to each other, get everything sorted out. And definitely with this fight camp, everything has came together really well. Done the weight absolutely piss easy, to be fair. I was a kilo and a half under the check weight. I'm in phenomenal condition and just can't wait to get in there.
I mean, 10-0 at 22, Dean. When you kind of consider the comeback for yourself now, getting back out this weekend, first and foremost, what will be the plan moving forwards? Listening to you there, I don't imagine you feel like you're going to try to make up for lost time and you're going to continue to take things in your own stride.
Yeah, I'm just going to take things in my own stride, mate. It's my career at the end of the day. It's nobody else's. I'm not working for anybody else. I'm working for the best opportunities for me. Signing a contract with Dennis Hobson moving forward. I think working with him and Sam Kynick as my manager, I think I've got a really strong team behind me and they're going to guide me the right way. And this fight is a good step up for me to fight a 10-1 Mexican for the WBO Youth World title after what we're saying 20 months out the ring or something like that. long period of time. But I'm just very much looking forward to taking the next step in my career and then building momentum again from this. I had a really, really busy start to my career. I think I had like 7 fights winning my first title fight in less than a year. And then I slowed it down a little bit, and I've got that out of the way. I've got that experience. I'm up to 10-0. It's just about taking my time now with the right fights at the right time for me, and that's all that matters.
Talk to me about your opponent for Saturday night then, Jose Velasquez, as you mentioned, Mexican 10-1. What do you know about him? How much of him have you been able to study, look into?
My coach has managed to find 2 or 3 of his most recent fights. He's actually had 4 fights this year, I think he has. So he's been busy. So we've been lucky enough to find his most recent fights as well. Typical, come forward, throws punches and bunches, likes to look for the left hook to the body, but it's nothing that I've never came up against before. I've came up and I've sparred guys much better level than he is, and I think it's just going to be a good, exciting fight for me to get back into, and I think I'm really going to be able to show the improvements that I've made during this time training, and I'm looking forward to putting on a devastating performance.
That was going to be my next question, kind of when you two are in the ring, how are you expecting the fight to play out stylistically, and what should we expect to see from yourself with regards to the improvements you've made with your new training team?
I think very much you're just going to see much stronger boxing fundamentals. I never had an amateur boxing career. I think I had 5 fights when I was 11 years old and just did kickboxing. So I've been learning on the job every single fight. But I think now working with a full-time boxing team that I've got years and years of experience in the game, that I've really, really tightened up my fundamentals, and I've got that. I've got speed, I've got power, I've got agility, I've got intelligence. So just to add that extra skill level into it, it's going to be a massive, massive improvement. I think I'm going to stay in the centre of the ring. He's going to try come forward. I'm going to outbox him. But then I think when it comes to the counter punching, especially body shots, I think that could be his absolute downfall. He fights it one pace, one rhythm. And I think the speed that I've got, as soon as I prise him open and catch him with some counter shots, he's not going to be in there for too much longer.
Dean, we've obviously seen some shock results from Mexican fighters traveling over to the
Mm-hmm.
UK of recent times. Does that make you even more wary and even more focused on the task at hand to make sure you're not one of those that fall into that same category?
Oh, definitely. Like, even without the most recent fight, as soon as you say that you're fighting a 10-1 Mexican coming over, they're 100% hungry. You know, they're constantly going to be 100%. They're going to wear wear their heart on their sleeves, and they're going to come and win. That's no matter it. So I don't think any opponent easier, but this has just given me that little bit extra motivation, and I think puts more respect on the win as well, having somebody of that caliber and Mexican coming over to win.
Victory for you over the weekend, Dean. What do you want to do with the year progressing? How often would you like to get out? Any other titles you'd like to challenge for?
Definitely, whatever's available. The team that I've got with Dennis Hobson, they've got multiple plans for me that we've spoke about, which is really, really exciting. For me and for them, the British title is one that I got into boxing to win. It's something I would always love to do. I think it's just obviously been competed for recently, just last weekend, and then I think there's a final eliminator set up already. So for me, that would be probably taking too long just to sit and wait going down the British rankings. So if I can win this WBO title, maybe even a different organisation as well, and create a few different paths for me. But the main plan is get this fight out of the way, get the strap around my waist, and then plans for a homecoming fight towards the end of the year, which would be brilliant to get a full capacity crowd in as well. And then the sky's the limit in 2022. Basically, anybody can get it that's worth it.
Steen, we'll come on to some names shortly. Then you mentioned the British title. That being contested this past weekend between Ekow Essuman and Chris Jenkins. Ekow Essuman overcoming Chris. Firstly, what did you make of his performance and his win?
I thought it was really, really good. The the engine, a good nickname for him. He does have that good engine and good work rate, which is really good. But I think seen Chris had suffered broken ribs or something like that in the first or second round. So fair play to him for being a true warrior. You know what you're going to get with Chris. He is just everything about a typical hard British boxer that you're going to get. But no, full respect, Ekow. It's definitely something that I was keeping my eye on, and I think I'm right up in the mix. I think just give me a year or two and that belt's around my waist.
I was going to say, how far, you've just said a year or two, but if an opportunity presented itself, would you be willing to step in now to face Ekow for that British title?
100%. I think just I am probably going to, not for my development, but for my profile, and to get more rounds and more experience of different styles and stuff like that under my belt as well. I think that's a good benefit I've got with Dennis and their team. They're going to guide me, give me different opponents with different styles each fight to make me a complete fighter when I do take that step up. Because when I take that step up, I'm going to be 100% ready and then move on to bigger and better things straight after that. So it's about just taking my time just now, not rushing. Obviously, I consider myself right up there with the best of them in Britain. But I think just it'll take a little bit of time to get my profile up to the standard whether I'm worthy of going in and fighting for it, and I've got no problem at all with that. But just when I get my opportunity, I'm going to be taking it.
You mentioned Florian Marku earlier on as well. Would you be willing to step in with him as well if an opportunity presented itself, just with a bit more notice?
Oh yeah, definitely. Even if I had 6 weeks' notice for Florian Marku or something like that, with the team that I've got now, I would take that fight in an absolute heartbeat. I think Florian's very, very tough. He showed definitely some improvements with his boxing skill, but I definitely think I'm still too good for him.
Right, Dean. One final thing. In fact, we've got Ben Granados this weekend as well, also at welterweight. What do you make of that?
I think that's a good fight. I don't think people's given Conor enough credit for this fight, although obviously Granados got a few losses on his record, but it's obviously been up against the top level. So I think it is a better step up. I do think he is getting managed very, very well, but that's obviously the team that he's got around him, and he's just got to beat the people that they put in front of him. So full respect to him. I think he gets it done. I think he probably, if he doesn't get him out between round 7 and 9, then I think it'll be a points decision. But I think Ben's improving every single time. There was actually an opportunity for me to fight Conor, I think it was a year and a half. It was just a few weeks after my first title fight. There was an opportunity that came up, and at the time, I think I would have beat him right there and then, even on the 3 weeks' notice. But he has made some massive improvements. Got to take credit to him and the team that he's got. So what he's doing is brilliant, and hopefully our paths can meet later down the line. I think Conor's like 24, 25, only 22, so we've got a lot of time in the game. And I think once I raise my profile and start getting some titles under my name, I'll start creating some waves, and that could be a fight we'll speak about in the future.
Dean, we will leave it there now. Leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate your time. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thanks very much, Andy. Cheers, buddy.